back to Myammee TV. Today, you guys, we are doing episode number 2 review of Chad Loves Michelle. It comes on every Saturday at 9 o'clock on OWN Network. But before I get into this review, you guys, you already know, make sure you thumbs up this video as I talk, as you agree with something that I say or heard or whatever the case is. Make sure you comment below because you know I love to chat with y'all. And if you are not subscribed, make sure you subscribe now or hit the notification bell if you have not. But let's go ahead and jump into this review on Chad Loves Michelle. So you guys, this episode opens up with Chad and Michelle. They are on a Skype call with their therapist and they're talking about what has happened over the past few days. And how they had a big argument. Race came up out of the thing. Chad said, "Honey, did you take your medication?" Like that was a little try, you know? But they got over that. They got through that on that call. And he basically said it's time for them to go meet his side of the family, which I thought was a great idea. I think this is where we see that Chad may not be mixed, that he is white, you know, like white. But it was good because the race thing is coming up and I think he is just so uncomfortable talking about it, only because, again, you guys, he's a white male. They don't see nothing that we see as people of color, as black people, as whoever people who are not white. They don't know the things that we have to deal with. They don't know that when we walk in a store that, oh, here they come. Or they don't know that we have to walk on eggshells when we're around a certain color of people or just anybody else who are not our race. You know, they don't really know none of that. So again, it rubs off on him that he does not know. So he think it's like, get over it, get through it. It's like, no, honey, like you would never know the reality and the feelings and everything that comes with just being black. Period. Like, you're not going to understand that, so you cannot tell me to push it under the rug because this is a real thing for the rest of my life. You know, and I understood where Michelle was coming from because it is true, like, and I'm getting a little bit more passionate about it because it's so true. No matter how light your skin is, no matter how dark your skin is, you are always looked at as a black person who is not white, who is just never going to be white, and they judge you on that. No matter where we go, we get judged, like, all the time. And it's just crazy how he never thought of it like that. But you can't 100% blame him. But now, since he knows, he has to just do better and be open to those conversations because this is a reality. If you guys are going to get married and have kids, your son is going to look like he's black, right? Or your daughter is going to look like she's something as well. So you have to right now get through this with Michelle so that you guys can go ahead and have that conversation and have those vibes ready to discuss that with your children. But back to the reviewer. And while they was talking to their therapist, you guys, it came out that Michelle supposedly talks aggressive, right? But in reality, she just talks the way she talks, and which is passionate, right? So it's basically black women. We either talk aggressive, but we call it passionate. It is not that it's our fault that how we come off is how we come off. Not to say we can't change that, but it comes to the point where why do we always have to water down ourselves to make other people comfortable when everybody else just does what they do? And it's just because they talk a certain way does not mean we have to talk a certain way, you know. And I look at our voice and the way we talk. If we have to water ourselves down, that's almost like a natural girl putting perm on her hair. And I was joking with one of my friends the other day. I was like, girl, do we have to put the perm on our voices when we go to a job interview, when we go talk to people, like with her, when they in an argument, does she have to water down her voice because she's black and the way she comes off sounds so aggressive? It's like, no, that's who we are. And it gets to the point where are we ever going to just say, you know what, this is it? Like, yes, we could kind of control it. It's no excuse to be all over the place now. But the way it comes out, the way we speak, why do we have to always water that down? Like, I don't get that. But that's another topic for a whole nother day, you know? But it's just sad that we're still nitpicking at black people. Like, especially black women, like, we're sick of getting nitpicked. Our hair was never enough. Our skin color was never enough. Our bodies, our noses, our lips, our voices, the way we talk, like, are we ever going to be enough, period, in this doggone world? But it shows that we are because everybody is taking after us, honey. You know, have y'all seen that video of those other races trying to look like us? Okay, well, let me just go ahead and move on back to the review. got a little sidetrack right there. Let me just get back to the review because that's a whole nother topic. But Black women, I want us to love ourselves. Women of color love ourselves exactly the way we are, even when we get our heads moving around town, because guarantee you, when a white woman does that, she is taken and she is respected and she is heard and she is taught of, okay, she is serious. We need to go ahead and get this fixed. But when a Black woman does that, it is ghetto. It is this and that. You need to straighten, you need to tighten up, you need to put on your tie and water it down. No. We have to stop. Like, I'm done with that. Like, why do we always constantly have to do something to ourselves? Why is it that we cannot just simply exist? White women just simply exist. They don't water down themselves. So, another topic for another day. So the episode goes on. They go ahead and take their trip to Colorado. And while they were driving, you guys, to the granddaddy's house, the scenery to me was just so relaxing. Like, I felt relaxed just watching this episode, because those type of trips, those low-key trips, those country trips, they are so like, it's like a recharge, like restart from getting away from the big city life and style or whatever. Just the air, everything is just totally different. They finally pull up to Grandpa Jim's house. And as soon as they get in the door, they're like, you want some wobbly legs? Like, whatever that wine is, I just want to try just a little corner of it just to see. So she's like, why is it called wobbly legs? They're like, because you're going to have wobbly legs after drinking it. So I thought that was just so cute. And when you go to other people's family houses and they have like little things about themselves, like maybe a certain different food or some type of different drink or whatever the case is, I'm always the type to say, okay, I'll try it. Like, I'm not afraid to try any type of food, drink, or whatever the case. So as they reveal Grandpa Jim in this episode, I love Grandpa Jim. Like, you can see, he was talking to Chad in this one part of the episode. You can see that he really loved his wife that he just lost, which is Chad's grandmother. And I felt, y'all know me, I had a little teary-eyed, of course, because I lost my grandmother too. But I felt that, and it made me think of my granddaddy. Now, my granddaddy, he is like a step granddaddy because he didn't father any of my grandmother's kids. But I grew up knowing him as my granddad. That's all I knew. So I remember when my grandma passed and how my granddaddy was. And right now he's dating. He's doing his little thing, living his best life. And but I remember when he lost her, and I think still to this day, he is still, have that soft spot for her because she was like it for him, and who would have thought that my grandma was going to pass before my granddad? Like, nobody didn't think that. And on top of that, they had like the longest marriage out of the entire family on my dad's side. Like, my grandma was the only woman who was married that long of a time. I lost my grandmother the same year I lost my mom. And then after my grandma passed, which was right before I filmed I Love Money, I lost my mom while Flavor of Love was airing, and then I lost my grandma right before I went to go film I Love Money. And then as soon as I got back from I Love Money, I lost my great grandmother, which was my grandmother's mom. It was just a crazy year that year. But anyway, it made me think of my granddad right now. But I remember when my grandma first passed, my granddaddy, he was just like Grandpa Jim. Like, if you talk too much about my granny, like, he would get teary-eyed. Like, so I got that little emotion. It made me think of my grandma too. And just to see Grandpa Jim, like, you could tell he really loved her. And to know that Chad has that wisdom under his belt at any time to call, like, he has to take advantage of that, because when you love someone like that and they have seen everything in their relationship, for him to be able to pull that information from his Grandpa Jim, like, he has to take advantage of that all the time, because you don't get that type of wisdom. Everybody can get access to that type of wisdom when they get married, so, and that's what I'm going to miss about my grandma. And all of my grandmothers, is that I don't have that wisdom anymore like how he has. So I hope he takes advantage of that wisdom, because you don't get that easily, and for those who don't have it, I guess we have to get our wisdom from other people that God sends in our lives, or Google, or YouTube. So Chad said in episode 1 that Michelle was a people's person, right? And I saw myself in Michelle a little bit, because when I go to somebody else's family, like, not that I'm trying to blend, to make them love me, because they love me just regardless, you know. But you can tell she's a people person because when they were sitting at the restaurant, like, she went over there, she consoled him, like, she's just like that. And that's how I am. Like, I'm Mrs. Bring the light to whoever environment. Or sometimes I may cry with you too, but I will bring that light and that joy and that just bring it. So Michelle basically gets the info on Chad and how he is high maintenance and how he has been planning his wedding for a long time. She's like, we could just have our wedding in this backyard. He was like, oh no, that is not gonna happen, honey. No, ma'am. You know, so to see that they're totally the opposite when it comes to that, that's kind of cute, because of course you want your husband to be, some people say their husbands are never involved in the wedding process, but as we know now, we know that Chad, he's going to have some say up in his wedding. Okay, Michelle, like, you can't get everything that you want, honey. So that was kind of surprising to find out that he's high maintenance more than she is. So, you know, to each his own. So the greatest thing I've ever heard in my life, which I already knew it was true, but it was good to hear it from a man, right, was when Grandpa Jim said that husbands, you're going to have to learn to lose the battles in marriage. And you do get the last say so. And your last say so is only, yes, dear. I thought that was phenomenal. Like, that is some Einstein type of revelation that we just need to go ahead and plaster that all over the world so that these men know that it's us ladies. You know, I've always knew this, but some men just don't know it. But they get to know it as they get older. But Grandpa Jim has cracked the code. He knew, he knows, and he will keep spreading that joyness to his grandson, and hopefully his great grandson will know the same thing. So then it flashes to them going fishing, and I've never personally done fishing, so I don't think I'll be like all over the place like Michelle was, or be that extra. But the part I probably would be with her is like, oh my God, this is so boring, you know, but it may be fun. I have no idea. If I was to catch some fish, like, I don't know. That's something I would consider doing if I have to do it. I don't think I would just go do it just to do it though. Like, I would have, if my husband loves to fish, I would have to learn to love it too, or just do it here and there with him. But I'll try not to be as extra as Michelle, because she was all over the place. It was good that she was actually doing things that he loved to do and being a part of that. And it was also good to see that he opened her up into that part of himself as well. So the fishing thing was kind of cool, even though I don't know if I would love to do it, but it was cool. So then, you guys, it flashes to them doing quiet therapy with horses. Now, I've never heard of this before in my life. And I have rode horses before, but I've never heard of some quiet therapy. You know, it kind of makes sense to me because they can't talk back to you, of course. They're not like dogs. They're not like all over the place. They're basically just standing there or whatever. I mean, I don't know. But I get what they was trying to say. Like, you just be one with yourself. I mean, that's like a form of meditation maybe, or just sitting. For me, quiet therapy is on the beach, looking at the ocean, looking at the, I love the beach. I love the ocean. I love the sky and just water. I'm a Pisces, so I love that type of stuff. But it's worth the try. I have no problem with trying that. But when they was doing that quiet therapy, it was revealed that Michelle has trust issues, you know, and knowing that she had been taking care of herself for so long, to not have somebody else that come in who is kind of a little bit controlling, just a piece of hair controlling, to know that he won't allow her to also lead him in some ways. And I get that men want to be the leaders, right? They're the heads and all of this stuff. But I'm a little bit surprised from him because he is a pastor, right? And I don't know if he got to the revelation that women are the next, right? And yes, you can be the head and you can be the man. And of course you are the man. But I always say this, and sometimes I say it jokingly, but I really mean it seriously and wholeheartedly, you guys. This is my little, get your pen out for this. I believe that when God created man, of course, he created man first, right? Eve came second for a reason. And I feel that men have to understand the reason why we came right after you guys, because God was like, oh my God, I just made this man and he just don't even know what to do and how to do it. Let me create woman, because woman, she knows what's going on, okay? With the hands and all of that. God said that, because me and God, we're like, you feel me? So that's how I feel. And I just want men to understand that women, we are not here to be your moms. No, we are here to be your partner, to be your blessing, to be that wisdom that God has given us for you, to help you, to be that two-way communication. That maybe God wants to talk to you about something and you can't hear it, because that's why he created a second, because you want to listen to him in the first place, okay? When it was just you and him. So he had to bring us in to be the third person to talk to y'all, like the phone or the middle of the third party situation, but I need y'all to follow me right now, because I know I'm a little over the place, but I'm telling the truth though. Okay, so back to my revelation. I just want guys to understand that we are here to help them. We are your help meet, but we're not a help meet, meaning only to cook and clean, only to give birth to kids. That's not what we mean as a help meet. We are literally here to help you get revelation, to help you with your wisdom, to help you break down some things in your life that you can't get over, i.e. right now, the race card. So she is here to bring light to him about being black in America, of being a brown person, or whatever the case is, whatever, anybody else who is not white, so sometimes I feel that guys just kind of forget a little bit that we are more than just our bodies and a chef and a housekeeper. We are your equal. We are your partner for life. We want you to be better. Why not? Like, why do I want a man who's not better every year, or he's not getting wisdom every year, or just growing every year? Like, no. And why would you not want a wife who wants the best for you, who wants to see you grow, who wants to see you shine? If you look at every male who has been married for a long time, he would tell you, if it was not for his wife, and her wisdom, she was literally sent from God to help him birth everything that he needs to birth. So this episode, that scene made me, I just wanted to shout at Chad, like, Chad, you need to let go. You can't just be the man and in control all the time. And yes, you're a pastor, so you're control of your house there. But when you get home, Chad, you have a wife who is supposed to help pour into you and help you grow, because you're not going to know everything. And it goes vice versa. But men, women, we are here to help you. And not just the basics, okay? Because y'all can cook too and clean. Well, you can't birth kids. Yeah, but I bet you that's going to come in like 100, 200 years from now. But, like, let's be a partnership here. We're not beneath you. We're eye to eye with you. But you are the man and we are your wives. But don't get it twisted. We're sent from God for a reason. And if you keep that in mind, that we're actually sent to you from God, you will allow us to give you the information and help guide you to the next level. And I'm gonna just leave it at that. So I hope y'all fellas took some notes. I hope y'all ladies who did not know that, you guys understanding about yourselves. Like, we are more than that. Don't ever let nobody tell you are only a maid, or chef, or a birth canal only. No. We have wisdom. That's why we are more. I'm going to cease right there, because, on to the review. So at the restaurant, end of the trip, you could tell that Grandpa Jim, he was so in love with his wife. You can tell that, like, he got teary-eyed. Michelle went over there to console him. And I hope Chad really realizes that women really are blessings to men, and to just love on Michelle even more, or get the revelation that that's what love is about. And if you don't have that, at least that beginning interest of love like that, you don't need to be marrying nobody if you don't feel like that. And I understand that it takes time to get there, but to feel that sense of love that deep, that's like a reminder, like that person, you have to be in love to be married for those many years, to go through ups and downs. But no matter how many ups and downs you go through, the foundation of that love is just like Grandpa Jim had showed us. That's a foundation. You have that foundation, of course you're going to get through everything. You know what I'm saying? So our job is to make sure when we do get married, that foundation of love is there first. Because no matter how many come, how they say, of high water or whatever, I done lost that thought. Come whatever high water, because you have that foundation, ain't nothing gonna break y'all. Because that love's so strong. You know what I'm saying? So the episode basically ends with Chad and Michelle going to talk to another couple who was mixed. Now, this couple wasn't a black and white couple. They, the wife was Spanish. And I get because, black and brown people, I get that. But black people, we have it worse. So I wish that the show gave them a black and white couple, like a white male with a black woman. Because not trying to sound whatever, but being here in Miami, black people, we are at the bottom. Spanish, they treat us as if they're white sometimes. Like we get racism from the Spanish people here, from the brown people, And so I kind of was disappointed that the show didn't give them a black and white couple like that mirrors them. But it doesn't matter because maybe that woman does experience a lot of things. And of course, it's very different for her white husband. But to see Chad so flushed, to see his legs shaking, to see him just not being okay with talking about race, like that is a problem because he has to realize that being in America, you would never, ever, 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 ever know. Like I said earlier, you're never going to know how it feels to be black. But to know he was like so diseased, just to talk about it. I was just like, Chad, like calm down, like just listen so that you can respond, not to just speak back. You know what I'm saying? And but it was good that husband, the white husband, talked to him and he was like, bro, like you're never going to understand, but you have to understand. You have to be open to those communications. And I agree with that. Like it was good to have that white guy there to really talk to him because Michelle already know how it is to be black in America. She didn't really need anybody to be there to talk to her, but that conversation was really for him, right? And Michelle was looking at him like, are you taking these notes? Because you need to hear this, So I'm happy that they had that scene for Chad because he needs that. He needs more of that from other white men, I believe, like to show him and tell him, like, bro, this is real. Your wife is going to have these issues. She's going to always have these issues along with your kids, So I love that part, but I just wish it was a black woman there. So that way that white man can even have more things to say to Chad about having a black woman, But yeah, you guys, so that was episode number 2 review of Chad Loves Michelle. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you loved this episode as much as I did. I just simply loved that trip. Like, I want to go on one of those trips so bad very soon, like a real low-key trip. I don't know about the fishing part, but I'll try it. And to try some of that wobbly legs, like a little corner of the wobbly legs from Grandpa Jim now. I enjoyed this episode, like, very much. It was very educational. I think this was something that other interracial couples can watch and learn a little bit of something from this, or maybe take that into their lives and get some more counseling on that when it comes to family, being married and what it really means to be married and how do you get through. And we found that the whole key of how you get through difficult times and last for 1,000 years in marriage is because that love is there. Grandpa Jim showed us that love, real, authentic, real, true love for that person. You could get through it and you can last. That's what I learned. And I also learned that my mindset was right about men and husbands, that the only last word y'all can get is yes, dear. So thank you so much for watching, you guys. See you next time. Make sure you come follow me on social media email below if you have anything you want to share with me that you want my opinion on. I'll do a video with that response to your question. But overall, you guys, you already know, make sure you thumbs up this video if you really enjoyed it. Hopefully I didn't leave too much stuff out. And yeah, and see you guys next time. Peace.